Right, so I said that I would continue to do some of the manifesting abundance videos interspersed with the craft videos. So here you go, another one on abundance. In my lifetime, we have come to accept the aphorism that you are what you eat. We understand that there is a one-to-one correlation between what you put into your body and what happens. We know, I'm not going to name particular foods because I don't want to get into a debate about, well, that's been disproven. In my lifetime, butter is terrible for you and you should be eating margarine. And then, oh, no, hydrogenated oils are terrible and you should actually be eating butter, chocolate, coffee. There are all kinds of things, and there are debates around what is and isn't. And of course, there's propaganda from the food industry. So you have to keep sorting through these things to work out what is true. But at base, we do believe that you are what you eat. And there are certain foods that if you consume them, you over-consume them, they can cause epigenetic changes in the body. They can cause sickness. They can trigger illnesses in you. And if you say that, you won't get a lot of pushback from people because that's become part of our collective belief system. What you might get some pushback from is you are made of everything that you feed yourself, not just the food that you feed yourself, but what you feed your brain, what you feed your spirit, what you feed your community. So you need to look at both in and out. I battle depression. And so I curate my online spaces pretty hard so that they are positive spaces. I do believe that talking about mental health is a positive thing to do. So there are quite a lot of complaining posts about how much SASS keeps me up, but that for me doesn't land as negative. But I curate my space very, very carefully so that the kinds of things I see other people complaining about what a shit show it is, and we're in the middle of a cultural war, and I mediate how that comes to me and when that comes to me, so that I am sure that I am in the right place for that negativity to pass through me. I am not somebody who can ignore what's going on in the world. I don't believe that that's my place. I don't believe that that's my path. But I also can't do it every day. I can't look at the, if it bleeds, it leads stuff every single day. I don't think that we're built for that. I don't think that we have, biologically, I don't think that we have caught up with essentially the news cycle. We were in small farming units, or we traveled from place to place, but the kind of violent bloodshed that we see every single day on the news wasn't generally part of our lives, historically speaking, and I don't think we've caught up to that. And so I organise my life in a way that my intake is slightly different than what I'm being fed by the mainstream media. I also make sure that I do things that are nurturing to my spirit. So, for example, I need to read. I love reading. I don't understand writers who don't read when they're writing. You can't be somebody else. I mean, if you're a ghostwriter, of course, you're going to get as close as you possibly can to somebody else's voice. But mostly that's not what we're doing. I need to feed that part of me, and I need to see my friends. They are the cornerstone of how I live a good life, is my chosen family that I have built over many decades. So we've got these things that are coming in, and you're going to look at what is going out, because it turns out that not only you are what you eat, you are what you speak. You are what you think. You are what you believe you are. And the things that you speak, you are speaking into being. You are creating that life. Your deep subconscious believes what you say and helps you create it. And there's lots going on underneath the surface that you're not necessarily aware of. But when you speak negatively about yourself or about the people around you, your whole self is listening to what you're doing and making it so. There's if you read any of the Theosophists, Madame Blavatsky, their big mantra was "as above, so below." The idea being that the celestial beings were reflected in humanity, and humanity was reflected in the celestial beings. But that has become part of quite a lot of the see, I said I wasn't going to use it, but I was veering towards saying woo-woo again. What was called the New Age community. There is this idea that you create everything. You are everything in the universe. What I would say is you create whatever abundance there is in your life. And you have to work out what constitutes abundance to you and cultivate that. And you then need to go on a little bit of a brain cleanse, because I'm pretty sure I've talked to quite a lot of you and you do not say nice things about yourself. I certainly don't say nice things about myself, and I'm really trying to turn that around. And most importantly, not most importantly, but one of the important things is that you talk about how hard it is to make a living as a writer. You talk about how hard it is to make a living. You talk about how hard it is to come by money. And, I accidentally worked at a hedge fund for 12 years. Let me tell you, there's a lot of money in the world, and there is a lot of money looking for places to go. The reason that last year I talked about Brandon Sanderson doing his Kickstarter is there is a ton of money out there looking for places to go, and it is even looking to go to writers. I don't talk about this a lot because it's one of those touchy things that people can get quite put off by, but I am, and I have always been, a money magnet. Money comes to me. Money has always come to me. My first job out of college, I saw that I wasn't being paid as much as the people around me. Maybe I've told this story before. And I went and I did a bunch of interviews, and I put together a spreadsheet. Don't tell Micah that I put together a spreadsheet. I put together a spreadsheet, and within the year, immediately my salary was doubled, but within the year it was tripled. And then when I took this accidental job, I started in one place, and by the time I left, I was earning 10 times that amount. So the money's out there. And yes, I am enormously privileged. I have an education that is just terrific. And I look a certain way and I sound a certain way. And they are absolutely advantages. But trust me when I tell you, I come from very poor people. The difference between my parents was stunning. My mother was always afraid that she was going to be poor. She was always afraid and penny pinching and looking at where the money was going. And my father was not. My father was not afraid of money. He went to Savile Row and bought himself a suit. And when he took you shopping, you didn't look at the price tags. You went and bought something that was beautiful and that you loved, and then you took really good care of it. And I will never forget that coat. That coat to me was an absolute luxury, one of the only things that I bought with him. And I learnt a kind of fearlessness about money. And that is my bedrock. My absolute bedrock is that money will always come, and it always does. Even when I believed that it was impossible to make money writing films, making films, and we were digging through our couch looking for enough money to get the bus out to the Hamptons, where we'd won one of the top prizes at the Hamptons, and it was enough money to pay our rent that month. And at that point, I didn't believe that you could make money making films, and so I didn't. And I wrote a bunch went into turnaround, obviously, because that's what happens. And then I didn't believe that you could make money as a writer, and so I didn't, until I started seeing how you could. And then I flipped it. It was really a flip of, oh, you can do this. And now I make a lot of money. I currently have a couple of books in the top 500 on Amazon. I have got many that are in, they're ranking quite well, and they'll do better when the omnibuses come out. But they're the live books. As you know, books tend to have a shelf life of a certain time. But you can do this. What you have to do is you have to work out what is coming in and curate what's coming in, and then curate what's coming out as well. Dump the garbage, keep the good stuff, tell yourself what you want in terms that are in the present tense, and then you keep repeating that, and then you start to create it, you start to make it your reality. Don't say something that is patently unbelievable, because if you don't believe it, so if you say, for example, a friend recently wrote and said, "Oh, universe, send me $1 billion." Now, I know they don't believe that that's going to happen, and so it's not going to happen. You have to believe what it is you are trying to manifest. And start small if you need to, or go big if you can. If you fall off, if you find yourself talking yourself down, if you find yourself talking down your art, if you find yourself in negative spaces, work out how to get back to the positive space. Pull the plug on the negative stuff, get back to the positive stuff. We will talk some about how you manifest things, what kind of mantras you can build for yourself, and how you make yourself magnetic. One of the ways that you make yourself magnetic to what you want is to curate what comes in and curate what comes out. All right, my dears, I hope there's something useful. Bye.